Okay, today we start off this video. I'm not quite sure what to say. Now, where in the world are we? We're in one of the highest mountain ranges in Colombia called Los Nevados. It's really cold. This may not have been what you have expected or what you expected when clicking on this video. You may have expected paradise, sunshine, palm trees, pool, sunny vacation. We are on officially day 5 of our trip to this part of the country, our Salento, Manizales, Finlandia. This is all about us getting to know this beautiful world. So you may be thinking, how in the world did you arrive at this place? Well, I'll tell you guys the story, and let's start from the beginning. So before we get into the full entire story of this past week, let's just first define where we are. Okay, so we're in Colombia first. South America, right? Specifically, we are in the coffee region, and fall of 2020, we've been living in Medellin, right? Which is not the capital, but it's a very big metropolitan city in Colombia. So if you travel from Medellin south by car or by bus, about 6 to 7 hours, you'll land in the coffee region. You'll hear different cities like Pereira, Manizales, Salento, Finlandia. And this coffee region is located in a completely different department. So Antioquia is where Medellin is, right? But if you come here to the coffee region, it's in a completely different department named Quindío, named Quindío. I think I said it right. And so we had to come to the coffee region here, arguably because the coffee produced in Colombia and exported is some of the best and highest quality in the entire world. Colombia is the 3rd largest producer of coffee in the world. And so this region specifically is responsible for growing and producing the largest amount of coffee in the entire country. So as I mentioned, this trip for us started in Medellin. We flew out of the little airport called Olaya Herrera, which is located in the center of Medellin. It's really close to our apartment. So it's really nice to hop on a small little commercial plane and just fly, 35-40 minutes to Manizales. Because if I know anything about Colombia's roads and navigating yourself by car through the country, it's not the most comfortable. It takes a long time, a very long time. And so our hub and home base for this week is this beautiful working coffee farm. It's called Hacienda Venencia, close to the town of Manizales. It is absolutely spectacular. And if you ever come to the coffee region of Colombia, I highly recommend a stay like this, because out here you get to feel the peacefulness, the nature, and the tranquility. It's really a beautiful thing. I mean, here it rains, it's sunny, the weather is absolutely beautiful. You can hear the birds chirping all throughout the day. The air is so fresh. And upon arriving at this beautiful hacienda, I saw the coffee farm, all the coffee plants that they have. This farm in particular is composed of 210 hectares, which is over 500 acres of land. And so what I really appreciated about this experience in the hacienda was the ability to truly disconnect from the life in the big city of Medellin, to be able to really take a break with nature. I mean, we are literally in the mountains. There's no gas stations, no restaurants, no residential areas. It's just you in this beautiful home in the mountains. Specifically, we stayed in this coffee lodge, which has maybe 10 different rooms. It's got a pool. And in the finca as well, you have the opportunity to work. I mean, there's good Wi-Fi here, which is great. I mean, nowadays it's hard to find good Wi-Fi in a normal hotel, but here the Wi-Fi was great. We were able to work, relax, lay out by the sun and the pool. And the food here was really great. Breakfast was included. And then you can pay an extra fee for lunch and dinner, which was homemade and outstanding. And it was really cool because we got to interact with different people, meet different travelers, and also this farm has its own activities kind of in-house. And we did a workshop here on the farm, and that was really cool. We got to make the chocolate, taste the beans, and see the whole process all the way through, and at the end we got to enjoy the chocolate, which was awesome. And since this is a working coffee farm, we also got a coffee tour around the area and the farm, which is absolutely stunning to see how the coffee plants in these beautiful mountains convert into bags and bags of coffee beans that are transported throughout the year and throughout the world to different countries to enjoy the Colombian coffee. So it's great to have a walk through nature and learn the step-by-step process of what it's like to create coffee coffee from the plant and the process that it goes through all the way to making the bean. So that was days 1 and 2. Pretty chill, very relaxing. Didn't have too much going on. It wasn't a super full day with the chocolate workshop and also the coffee tour. But on day 3, which was Wednesday, the middle of the week, we went to the Valley of Cocora, which was the main event for me because this valley has the largest palm trees in the entire world. It was fascinating. And on the way there from this farm to Salento, and also you go through a pueblo called Finlandia, you can stop and see those little pueblos. But when you get to the Valley of Cocora, it is absolutely stunning. I mean, it's eye-dropping. It looks like something man-made off of Jurassic Park. But these palm trees are gigantic and it's like, whoa, is this even real? But this by far is an undeniable experience that you have to do when you come to the coffee region. Aquí estamos en el Valle de Cocora. ¿Qué te parece?
Está increíble. Es un paraíso de Jurassic Park.
Really, this is the whole reason that we came to this part of the country in Colombia. As you can see, these giant palm trees behind me, they say they're the tallest palm trees in the world. I definitely believe it. I've never seen palm trees this tall in my life. But yeah, when we started the hike, some of the older palm trees that are maybe 200, 300 years old are starting to fall naturally because of the cattle. Over the years, it's kind of damaged the soil. So little by little, they want to replant some of these big palms. But the problem is when you plant a new one, it takes about 150 years to get this tall. So everyone just saw a condor. It was the first time seeing a condor in my life. So we're all trying to get closer and trying to get photos of it. Oh, I think it's moving. It's moving. The condor is the bird, national bird of Colombia. So along the way as well, it's really cool because you can find so many places where they have lookouts and they have views of the entire valley and of all the mountains, and it's just gorgeous to see. It really, really is. So then the next day we were like, okay, well, what should we do now? Like, we've done a bunch of activities. We've seen the world famous tallest palm trees. What are we going to do now? So we got information about going to El Nevado del Ruiz, which is a super high mountain range in the Andes Mountains here in Colombia. And we were like, okay, you can go get next to an active volcano. I was like, okay, sure. It was last minute, but I was like, let's go ahead and do that. And so that was really fun. Juan Pablo, who is one of the owners of this beautiful hacienda, took us up there with another one of the volunteer employees from this finca. And so the 4 of us went up there. It was about a 2-hour drive from the finca to get all the way to the mountains. And one thing that kind of sticks out in my mind about that volcano is the story behind it. There was a tragic story in 1985 where that volcano erupted and it wiped out an entire town, an entire pueblo, the community of Armero. And over 20,000 people died from that volcanic eruption. It was very devastating, but I couldn't help but think of how that day went nearly 35 years ago. And so now there's different levels of alert and basically the activity level of the volcano, so that if there is a scary situation now, people have an evacuation plan and it can be avoided. And so check us out higher than 17,000 feet.
Well, welcome guys. This is Nevado del Ruiz, or León Dormido. It's one of the tallest mountains in Colombia. We're above 4,000 meters. This is tropical high altitude. The tropics, very lush, very green, very lively. Up here, unique vegetation. You can only see it at this altitude in the world. And Colombia is one of the few places that has tropics at high altitude. And that's the vegetation and that's the surroundings that you're seeing behind me. Basically, it's very little vegetation because oxygen basically dies down and disappears. So you'd see unique wildlife up here. You actually get to see some birds, you actually get to see some rabbits, very few animals, some plants which are frailejones, and we'll show you later on a bit further up where the surroundings changes totally. So we'll continue later on.
Right now, we are on another planet. We're not on Earth. The moon, Jupiter, I don't know where. This is the most interesting part of the trip for sure.
Okay, now it's even more chilly. 4,400 meters above sea level. Really close to Nevado del Ruiz. Just up there, though you don't see it because behind you can only see the mist. Up here, basically you get Nevado del Ruiz again. You get the perpetual snow, the glacial, with the volcano in the middle. So, unique place. Lots of people compare it to the moon. I don't think they've been to the moon, but they can imagine and basically compare it to it. It's a fantastic place. It's quite cold, of course. Climate changes rapidly. You get some winds that will just blow in or blow away the mist very quickly. So it's amazing because in a blink of the eye everything changes and you see a totally new surroundings and views. Well worth visiting, well worth coming. It's challenging your body, of course. 4,000 meters, it's not something that you're used to. But if you just take care, breathe slowly, walk slowly, do not rush, and so on, your body will basically take it and adapt to it without any problem. So, welcome again.
La luna, como pueden ver, hacia allá podrán ver la niebla. Hacia allá podrán ver también más niebla.
And so when we got done with that tour, I was freezing. I was a little bit dizzy, very tired because the altitude was the highest again that I had ever been in my life. So then after that, what is there to do? Another popular location that is highly recommended is to visit some hot springs because there's a lot of hot springs in this region. And one of the most beautiful is the Termales de Ruiz, or the Ruiz Hot Springs, right? And it's a hotel nestled in the side of the mountain. So beautiful. It's very cloudy. The fog is always going in and out of the mountains. It's very lush and green. And honestly, it was just what I needed to defrost from me being freezing when we were at the top of that volcano. So like my fingers were numb and my toes. I was just really cold. And when we had lunch and I dipped my toe in that super hot water, I was like, yes. Yes, it was so great. And so hot springs after a very cold journey and a very cold day, it was just what we needed. And again, if you guys are interested in coming to the coffee region of Colombia, I can't recommend it enough. I will leave the link to the finca that we stayed in the description. It's a fantastic experience, it really is. So if you love this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more lifestyle and travel videos just like this one. And I encourage you to watch this video coming up next about the home tour in Medellin, and that video starts right now. We'll see you there.